That's right. It is the Friday Lions Fan Cave Chat. I've got DC8091 and my man Detroit Dom in the house. How's everybody doing this Friday?
All right.
He's not even a Lions fan.
Stop it.
Who?
He is too.
Oh, wait,
Who
that's
is
right.
it?
Where's the rest of our Lions fans?
I don't know. I sent out the links. If they show up, they show up.
Hey, look.
Hail to the that has to hurt to wear that.
Not at all. It's one of the one of the official warm-up shirts from a few years ago. My buddy was the coach, one of the coaches at U of M Dearborn.
Oh, okay.
And they got like the 1 year after hand-me-down. So I have two of these, two sweatbands, warm-up pants, everything but a jersey. Socks, the super nice Adidas socks with like a left and a right.
Awesome. And as always, Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B is presented by Sideline Sports. Brian Three Cushion, or Brian Roy as we all know him, is hi fellas and gives the big thumbs up.
And you know,
Patty Grimes says, what's up?
I love Michigan basketball.
Yes.
Since
especially Juwan Howard.
But especially Glenn Rice. When I was in single digits.
Oh, yeah.
The one that actually won.
Okay, there are only 2 guys considered out and 3 that are questionable for this weekend is the injury report right now. Deshaun Elliott and guard Awasika is out. Questionable is Justin Jackson, which his production has been next to nothing, so I don't miss him. Frank Ragnow, which may hurt, but he should be back. It's the same thing he's been dealing with every week. And Josh Woods has got a bicep issue. So that's something new, but I think that happened in that special teams play when he came off the field last week. So I don't really expect him to play. I expect Frank to play. And Justin Jackson, for me, it doesn't matter if he's in or out of the lineup because he hardly ever does anything. He'll have one good play and then disappear for a game.
Yeah. You know the one good play he had that led us to a win against the Jets where he picked up in pass pro?
Yeah.
Something that no one would ever accuse DeAndre Swift of.
Exactly.
Right.
I like Justin Jackson. He's a baller at times.
Do you guys agree? Like, it's the same thing every week since week 4 with Frank Ragnow, right?
Yeah, I think he's just unquestionable.
Wait. This is week 17, which is the 15th game, which is the 32nd game it will be without our starting lineup for the O-line.
17th game this year. Wait, no. 15th. Yeah, it's 32 of 34. 33.
This will be 33
after this.
Yeah, 33.
I don't think we'll ever see
it. We won't, because I bet you Big V will be gone and it'll be a new starting lineup next year.
Well, at least that streak will be snapped.
I'll take Brown or Skipper.
Did we do that in preseason? Though?
Between a top 5 and he's there. Ragnow's a top 5 center, right?
Ragnow is a top 5 center. As a matter of fact, I think he's top 3. And Sewell is top 10. And Decker is top 15.
You could put a cardboard cutout of a guard at right guard.
Yeah.
Or Evan Brown or Skipper. And draft someone to be the depth guy.
Patty Grimes says Frank's really out fishing. That could be right there on the St. Clair.
Joe Thomas went fishing during the draft, and he got picked top 5.
Yeah, he was ice fishing.
I love Joe Thomas.
He was ice fishing. He wasn't just fishing; it was ice fishing because it was cold as fuck that year.
Yeah, I love Joe Thomas.
That's pretty badass.
It is badass. But that being said, we did hear something out of the pressers that we've been waiting to hear, and I actually have the reason why for Lions fans. According to MCDC, Jameson Williams will be getting significantly more snaps this week. Why? He didn't have a preseason. How many weeks has he been active? 3. How many weeks are there in the preseason that they play games? 3.
Yeah, it's basically game 1 of his rookie year.
Yep. And technically, next year will be considered his rookie season because he will have played less than 7 games as a rookie.
Right.
He still needs to earn his snaps. So.
And he needs to learn the route tree. He needs to learn the playbook. He needs
He can be an
that.
absolute decoy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I said that would mostly happen. The only reason why everybody says he had to stop and wait and turn around for Goff's pass in that Vikings game. He did, but do you know what it was? Both of them. Goff and Jameson was in shock because he had 10 yards of separation standing there going, hey, what's going on? Here I am, Jared.
He didn't have to zip it. He's like, well, if I can throw this more than 15 yards, like he could have sprinted back and got it.
Right.
But it was that was like the brokenest of broken plays, and I was like, I love that for JMO. That's why we won.
Anyone who played backyard.
Instead of JMO gets a 40-yard catch, let alone a touchdown, we win. And then there it was.
41 yards, touchdown, all in one play.
That's a great intro. And ran over to the opposite sideline to give the ball to his dad?
His dad. That was great. I loved it. All right. This is going to be a very short show, I see. Because I only came up with 3 topics because usually I got at least 5 guys on here. Leonard isn't showing up.
Also not a Lions fan.
Yeah, pseudo Lions because he was on a Lions podcast with me last year. Lions adjacent, yeah.
It's fine.
Our Giants win, I should say.
Keegan Eckerd's in and says, hey, guys. Speaking of, you can find my show on YouTube, currently at 207 subscribers. Subscribe, like, and share. Check out my editorials at www.southfloridatribune.com. At any time throughout the show, we will answer viewer comments and questions.
Tell one of these bums that's commenting, just come on the show.
One of these bums. Keegan's been on the show before. He's not a bum.
Tell him bring his bum ass.
Hey, Keegan, you want to be on the show tonight?
Send him the link. Thank God I didn't go to that game last week. I felt bad because I think Jen got me a ticket, but I would have got dragged out. Well, either escorted or dragged out by the middle of the second quarter. And that may have been a because Lions.
Okay, I just got asked by who's the running back for Chicago. There is David Montgomery and Kyle Herbert.
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, whatever.
I was just talking about this last night in the carousel. Like, Fields had 147 rushing yards, 2 TDs. Week 10 when we beat them by 1, but their running backs also had another almost 100.
Cool.
Yeah, but
Fields threw a pick and he had a fumble lost, and we had a fumble lost.
And most of that 147 came on one play.
Almost half of it. Yeah, he had that 60-yarder late in the game.
Yeah,
I forgot.
60-yarder. I mean, that was just one play. So I mean,
shout out to you delusional Bears fans that think you're going to get Devontae Adams, because guess what? Even if you did get him,
you can't get the ball.
They'll just double cover him, and Justin Fields is still going to go until further notice. He's going one read and run.
Okay.
Yep.
So I did get asked a question from another podcaster in his podcast. Can the Lions make the playoffs? I spelled it out as to how. That means they can. Will they? That's a different story. Am I right or wrong on that?
Oh, no, 100%. It's not disputable. We got 2 or 7 wins.
I mean,
and Patty Grimes says you could have probably coached a better defense than last week.
Yep.
My sister, who doesn't even play Madden, could have coached a better defense than what I saw last week.
Here's my thing, and I've said this for years, because like our offense is hardly ever in my life like bad. The defense is usually kind of like I could scheme on the defense. The offense I could coach and call the plays, because when they listen to me, it works. I'm just about every single time after we either run it for however many yards and it's second and doesn't matter, I say play action, because who's the best quarterback in the NFL in play action?
Goff.
Tom Brady and Goff. That's it.
It's Goff.
No, I'm just saying.
We started winning.
That's the two best. That's the two best ones at it.
I
In
wasn't
the
even
NFL,
paying
active
close
right now.
attention. I know early in the year they weren't going play action, but when we started winning, they were going more, and I'm like, oh look.
Yep. Gotta have the run work before you do that, though. I think enough teams have seen game film to know how to stop Ben Johnson's run scheme. So hopefully he came up with a few little different steps here and there.
For the third week in a row, I don't know how to feel.
Hey, guys. People born today will never know how it feels to accidentally push a sandwich into a VCR. I got a chuckle.
Intentionally.
LeBron, I think it's his birthday.
Michael Huck says last week was terrible, standing in the cold watching that fiasco. A fiasco would have been better to watch than what we saw in that field.
That reeked of 1-6 Lions.
I think that was the only game I didn't watch the whole game of this year.
All right,
that was Brad Holmes being like,
here
"I'm
he
gonna
is,
let
guys.
Swaggy walk."
It's Keegan Eckert.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Oh,
He
peer pressured onto the show.
Next thing you know, we'll be drinking and smoking.
No, you know what last week was? Even if it ends up ultimately costing us a playoff game, that was Brad Holmes going, I'm going to offer Deontay Foreman more money than I will Swaggy.
Could be.
Because guess what? And I don't feel that bad about saying it. I'm pretty sure Swaggy is under 4 yards per carry for the season, right?
Yeah, he's at 3.8 or 3.7.
That's not good enough for a starter, period, in the NFL, let alone with this O-line. Love him in the red zone and short yardage.
That's where he runs.
But he's going to cost too much. Unless he takes, a lot less than market value to stay. Plus, he's 27.
Like I said, he's 27, which means he's on
anyone behind this O-line. I'll bring back Jackson for nothing. Reynolds is going to come back.
I'm not even bringing Jackson back.
I will for nothing.
He can't stay on the field. He has already missed games this season. Same as Swift. Goodbye.
Swift is the one that has to go.
Not really. Still on his rookie contract.
I would take anything for him in a trade. Even if he stays healthy next year magically. You can't trust that.
I know.
Yep. I'd take Jackson.
But the O-line's so good, it literally doesn't matter.
I just say draft 2 and be done with it.
I'll get a veteran somewhere for cheap. A veteran somewhere for cheap. It's really good at something. I don't care what it is. Pass pro.
Even if it's just keeping the bench warm for the other players.
It's really going to come down to how much Williams wants. If he's going to want top dollar, then
let him go get it.
Wait, this will be his first real contract. At one point, he was leading the league in touchdowns. There hasn't been a lot of running backs to get more than 14 touchdowns in a season lately. There haven't been very many. Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey when healthy. When's the last time he's been healthy enough to get 15 touchdowns? Rushing.
Nope.
It's funny because in a two-back system league, none of the guys can stay healthy still.
Yep.
Like 300 carries, you're not getting it.
Patty Grimes says we will take a sandwich in the VCR for Swift.
Just someone to pay the cap hit and like a third round pick.
Would you guys want to trade with the Falcons? Get one of those young backs like Huntley for Swift?
I heard they're going to put Pitts
Swift
on the
for
trade
Desmond
block.
Ridder right now.
I would trade Swift for Pitts right now.
Okay, so Swift and a pick of some sort or a swap somewhere.
Yeah, I don't. Swift was a second round pick. He's a first round pick.
They're not giving us. Someone just said it the other night too, and I was like, Kyle Pitts. There's your contested catch guy.
Yeah, problem is
we don't need him.
Yeah, I know. We don't need another tight end that's allergic to the red zone.
Our second or third string tight end had 3 touchdowns. in
Third.
one game.
Our third last week.
If you're tall, you can catch touchdowns.
We don't need a tight end.
Wait.
At all.
Kyle Pitts can't, and he is tall. It's been proven. He has 2 touchdowns in 2 seasons.
One of them not in this country.
Yeah, one of them was in London.
And he can't even stay healthy.
We don't need him.
I know.
Because basically he's a...
Wait. He does play more games than Swift, so he's healthier than Swift, but that's not saying
less
much.
unhealthy. He's... Really all he is, he's a mismatch. Because he's not really a tight end. He's just a tall, little bit slow. He's a huge mismatch in the slot.
He's a heavy-set wide receiver is what he is.
We already have the best slot receiver in the NFL.
I didn't say slot receiver. I just said he's just a heavy-set wide receiver.
He's a better Devin Funchess.
Yeah.
I think Don was
with that trade.
Wait,
I'd go for it.
And it gets better with less run-blocking skills than Devin Funchess.
But we said it back then, leading up to that draft. I said I don't want any of those receivers. Like I'll take Pitts.
Yep.
For me, I said it was Jamar Chase or Pitts if Slater and Sewell was gone.
But
and
they've
notice,
all been
I've
good.
always said, I've said Slater and Sewell before any of them.
They've
and
all
who had
been
the
good.
best? Who's been the best 2 tackles out of that draft? Hands down,
Easily.
Sewell and Slater, right?
They've been 2 of the better in the league since they came in.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They were both top 15 last year. They were both top 10 coming into the season.
And
if Slater
Sewell's
wasn't
rookie-
hurt, Sewell would be.
Sewell's rookie
be right
year,
there
he
with him.
was switching back and forth between left and right tackle like every 45 minutes.
It was. I think it was faster than that. But anyways,
That's how Anthony Lynn was putting him at.
It was good experience for him.
no, you forget Taylor Decker was hurt, so we had to have Sewell at left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said it when we drafted him. I'm like, look, open competition.
Oh, I know. But in all actuality,
You don't
when he
draft
switched,
a
everybody
premier
says-
left tackle that high and be like, oh, you're going to play right tackle.
but he wasn't a right tackle his entire college career, even.
I know.
He played both.
So what
sides.
I'm trying to say,
And they just re-signed Decker, but keep going.
what I was trying to say is, are you going to move a guy that's been playing one position his entire career from high school through college and pros, who's a 6th-year pro, or are you going to move a rookie that can transition that's already transitioned? You move the rookie.
Obviously.
Well, I said years ago, and it wouldn't have cost much more.
I still remember
we
that.
re-signed Decker, and then we signed Big V when we could have got Conklin for a few pennies more. He's a right tackle his whole career. Then you still draft Sewell.
Right. But anyways, I still remember somebody when we were on the free-for-all, or the mashup on Friday on We Are Lions Nation, right after they switched him. They're going to ruin him. I was like, don't you think playing left tackle for a few weeks and then switching to right made the transition easier because he actually played against the best talent in the NFL? Now he's up against second tier.
Yep, and it's just good for experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And James Burgess says, turn Sewell into Bruce Matthews 2.0. Teach him to play guard and center and long snapper too. He probably could. He's athletic enough.
Weren't they toying with moving Sewell to guard and putting Skipper at tackle when we had all those injury problems?
No.
That's just a massive
It's funny because Skipper is a mountain of a man and wasn't a good tackle.
But he was a great left guard.
And I don't understand how it works.
Because he's playing beside
Evan Brown, until he got those penalties, was having a great year. And that's the only good thing that happened with all these injuries the last 2 years.
Our depth got so much better.
Yeah.
But
right.
our frontline starting talent isn't that good. Like, yes, it made our depth better, but like we need everyone to be healthy.
So at 7-8, What grade do you rate the Lions season so far? I'll start with Dom.
I mean, I can't say A.
No.
I'm just we got to my floor, and we should get above it, but to get to the ceiling, which was 10,
It's
if
not
I told-
possible now.
right? But the thing is, if I told anyone, like, hey, what if I told you we started 1-6, and then lost 2 more games, or none? I'm sorry, or one or none, or 2 at the most, and got like I don't.
Hey,
I don't
the fact
care
that for
about making the
4
playoffs.
weeks straight, I'm talking about 4 weeks straight. You're talking right after the Bills game when we housed the Jags.
We should've
Everybody,
won that Bills game.
we should have.
Mhm.
Poor clock management once again, but that's another story. And it's a different type of clock management errors than what we were used to seeing. It wasn't because we weren't running the ball in the second half. It wasn't because we weren't doing this, weren't doing that. It was just boneheaded decisions at the wrong time.
I can say this, regardless of grade, we are where we should be. We're not where I want to be.
Right.
And I mean, unless we get Minnesota in the playoffs.
I give this year a B- so far.
I agree.
We had to B. Yeah, B- to B. I wouldn't give it a B+. I wouldn't give it an A- or an A or even an A+. A B- to B, somewhere in there. It's better than C+. If we'd have just won the 3 games and was sitting at 6 and then hovering the rest of the way, barely losing games, I would probably have it in the C's. But because we hit the floor of where you and I, when we looked at the schedule, the first time you looked at it, it goes, man, that's 5 wins. And then you started thinking about it, it goes, no, there's at least 7.
Right, but we have at least 2 of those wins already, maybe 3, up to 4. Same old Lions / Matt Stafford lose those games. I think same old Lions is dead because Lions is alive.
And we got some comments coming in. Let's get Sewell a touchdown. Yes. C+. And Michael Huck says B- because we left games on the table we should have won. And I agree. That's why I started with the B-.
But we've won some close games.
And we've had a couple games where it's just like, holy shit, where'd that come from?
Week 1, week 2, which is basically preseason, we lost to the best team by far in the NFC by 3?
NFC, the NFL. They have the best record overall.
They can't beat the Bills or the Chiefs, and now they can't beat the Bengals. Everyone's like, since he's alive. I'm like, Joe Burrow got sacked 700 times in the playoffs last year. Had he got sacked 699 times, the Bengals are the Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
Yeah. Little stretch there. Divide that by 10. It was 71 times total between the regular season and the postseason.
He got sacked. He got sacked 19 times in 4 playoff games.
19 times in 4 playoff games. That is accurate. And you want to know where 11 of them came from? The Tennessee game.
Oh, it was like. Wait, no, it's less than that many. It was like 2, 1, 9, and 7. What's that? 11, 12. No, that is 19.
19. It was
2, 1, 9, and 7.
Yep.
Maybe not in that order.
In some ways, we got to give it an A.
And Patty Grimes says we lost some games we could have won. No, we lost games we should have won.
Yeah. But we won some games that we would normally lose. I can't say we won some games that we shouldn't have.
No, because they were all games we said we could have won, but you were like, same old Lions, or because Lions, we won't win this and we won't win that. And the only one you got right was week 3 in Mini. You said we wouldn't win that game.
We won 2 games in New Jersey.
And I said we were winning both of those. You were like, there's no way.
Then we lost to goddamn Carolina. They're playing well, though. Like, they're not a good team, but they're playing well.
You know what? They really turned around after the firing of Matt Rule.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
And the
ready
trade-
for Wilkes
and the
because he got
tra-
a raw deal in Arizona.
and
David
what's
Blount
funny,
told
as
him.
soon as they traded away Baker, the switch flipped there, and the defense started playing better. It was night and day difference.
Mhm.
Their defense is pretty good.
It is.
They've got some talent, and they've been playing better.
And Brian Roy says, "This is the best I've felt about our team since I fell in love with football. I can't wait for the draft and next season to start. Brad Holmes is great."
Yeah, this is the best I felt about it.
This is the best I've felt in a long time.
Yeah.
I haven't felt this good since we had Barry.
I was
Yep.
get out of my head.
I do that a lot, don't I, Dom?
But Barry and or Cocaine Wayne.
Yeah, both
And
of
that was
those.
what we said when we hired Campbell and we fired and we hired Holmes and we traded for Goff. I just said, I hope all three of them are here in 5 years.
Yep.
And that when we restructured the contract, which added a year and stretched that money out to make it more palpable, because believe it or not, guys, this coming up year would be Goff's last year, and you'd be looking at a $47.5 million contract if we didn't restructure him.
Exactly.
The biggest thing for me is Sheila. Sheila is the owner, right? When
Yeah.
she dropped the Ford name.
Yeah, that was
That's
this
big.
offseason.
That's
That was
big.
huge. It was
You know,
huge.
finally taking it.
It
off
is
the goddamn
huge.
Jersey.
It's huge.
Thank God.
Ford.
Take that name
We've
off the
circled the
damn jersey.
problem.
Zeka says, "This team was buried at 1-6. I'm glad they responded to adversity." The biggest thing that happened after we went 1-6, the biggest thing, and no, it wasn't the curse lifting ceremony. No,
It was
it
just shit
wasn't.
leveling out.
No, it wasn't trading Hawkinson. It was the firing of the defensive
Aubrey,
passing game coordinator,
Yep.
Aubrey Pleasant, because word is out of the locker room is he had very confusing verbiage on how he wanted his man coverages to run. And he was doing like a combination man zone, but it was the stupidest combination I ever heard. Okay, if he's lined up with
talent.
Yeah, with lesser talent and young talent, mind you, we are the second youngest team in the NFL. The next youngest is the Jets. That's it. It's the Jets and Lions, and then I think the third one is like an average of a year and a half behind us. But anyways, he would have, okay, Okuda, you're going to cover him this far, and then Harris, you're going to pick him up, and then Oromari, you're going to pick him up if he crosses there. Either have him run man or have him run zone. Don't confuse it like that.
Yep. Oh no, in many ways though, this season's going to go down in history. Between as much as the rookies that took over, the 1-6, 6-1 turnaround, the playoff rush. I mean, I cannot say I'm unhappy with this season.
I said,
these
and
guys
I always
are
say,
ballers.
because Jeremy's heard me say it more than once. Right when I saw the schedule, I said, last game of the season at Green Bay. Apparently the league thinks, and the league is fixed. So the league either thinks or is fixing us all the way to the last game of the year at Green Bay. So apparently they think the Lions matter. I don't think we win that game.
Or they're thinking that Green Bay is going to get a step
even if the Packers are eliminated, like Aaron Rodgers wants to beat us.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about ratings.
No, he doesn't even care about money because he already said if we're eliminated, what he said was if we're eliminated, I'm going home. I'm not playing.
Cool. So we'll get Jordan Love.
Yeah, we'll get Jordan Love. And James Burgess says, I don't know. The curse lifting was pretty huge. I heard they use single malt scotch.
Right, don't fuck around.
I do know this. Green Bay thinks we matter now.
We've owned them for the past couple years, haven't we?
We have split with Green Bay for now 6 straight seasons if we lose in week 18.
Yep, and if you take away the 2 hands to the face calls, that's 2 more wins.
And that was a Monday night football game.
I was going to say, wait, a couple of those in the last 5 years, we've swept them. Maybe not 5.
No, if you go back 7 years ago,
Suffice it
we
to say,
swept
we
them.
don't win there late in the season when it matters.
Right.
And we're not gonna unless we're up 17
def-
points with 2 minutes left.
All right. Brian Roy says, we'll definitely get primetime games next year's, guys. I'm pretty sure we will. I hope we don't. I hope they piss us off again.
No, I just
And
like
Brian
to
Roy
have
then
them.
says, fuck Green Bay.
You can take away Thanksgiving. I don't.
No, never take away Thanksgiving.
A few years ago, I would have thought that might be enough to make the Ford sell. But we can't make them sell unless tell every one of your Lions fan friends quit going to games.
I think a little bit too late for that. There's
Ticket
a playoff
revenue
game with
and
only-
concession revenue is shared in the NFL.
That's yeah. But as long as they keep selling out games and making money, they're never going to sell.
Wait, you're missing my point. We could have not one fan show up to a game in Detroit.
Oh, yeah, it's shared.
Yeah.
But you're right. No, I get what you're saying, but they would lose money if the game stopped selling
Yeah.
out.
Right,
Yeah, the
I
owners
understand
would-
that.
Your owners would start
You
voting
know what?
people out.
I'm never
That's
Ever,
why I said
ever. I'm
Sheila
never-
being like, I'm not a Ford.
right.
Yep.
And starting next season, you know what's gone?
What?
Think about it. She said it was going to be removed as of
Oh, that
2023.
damn WCF that needs to get taken off the fucking jerseys. Thank God. I hated the old man with a
What is
So-
these low
I'm
pan
so glad
nose?
he's dead.
So the concept is they're taking this style jersey and putting the modern logos on it.
I'm digging the new jerseys. I think I'm the only one who likes the gray
I
one.
think they said combo of the throwback and like the Barry Sanders Sims.
Yep. Have you seen the pictures?
Yeah, well,
that they released
remember, the
today?
only thing they added was the black on the collar to this. It was the exact same jersey forever, where it had the old style print where it said Lions here.
Mhm.
That was there, but it was in white, and this was
Yeah.
white. You know, the edges were white, but it's
no.
basically the same jersey.
They should just wear the throwbacks all the time.
Yeah, the
No,
edges of
I
the numbers
can't.
are
The
silver
blue and the
instead of
gray
black.
with the gray pants and the
I
gray
love
helmet.
it. I love
Let's
it.
go
Just
back
wear
to
all
the old
silver.
logo where it showed the Spartan riding a freaking lion.
Yeah, no, I don't have it on the wall.
You want
The
the 50
long-
stretch? I know.
With the three stripes
Damn
in the
right,
middle.
with the 3 bars.
Well,
Yep,
no,
that
it's
old
two.
full
It's
line.
2 bars, but they're outlined, is what it is.
Well, no, there's 3 bars, just one silver, so it doesn't show up.
No, it's 1 blue bar, 1 silver bar, outlined in white. I've got it on
But
my computer.
also,
somewhere.
as much as I did not like them, bring back the black one. But since you could have alternate with the black helmet,
Yes,
black pants.
with the black helmet
Black
and
helmet,
not this
black helmet.
logo, that outline logo in the Honolulu blue I
Yeah,
showed you.
Just just blue and the lion part black.
Yep.
And no stripe either. Blue stripe or no stripe.
If you do put a stripe,
No,
a silver
yeah.
stripe.
Yep.
Right down the middle.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
the
a stripe
pointed
on the
one.
pants.
The one that comes to a point in the front. You
A
know,
stripe
like
on the pants, the same one.
Yep.
yep.
But black and black. I love that. I mean, it's been a few years now, but the NFL finally got that college football does it right, like blue, gray, white, black,
Yeah,
black,
very
like
simple colors.
matching,
Real bad.
matchy.
Right. The only ones that bug me, and I know you love them, is the Oregon neon green.
Oh, God, those are horrendous.
For the 35 uniforms they have, I like 3 of them,
I know.
and
And
one
that-
of them is like the throwback one.
Yeah, they in Maryland change uniforms.
oh,
every
look,
goddamn
Rico
Kids
Beard.
till night.
You know, the biggest Spartan
No,
lover in the
you know
world.
what's awful?
I think the kittens lose, and
Oh, get a life, Luger.
I think you eat lead coated paint.
That orange. I like the orange Bears jerseys, but they had the orange helmets, and I'm like, that's just too much orange.
The jer-
Monsters are the Midway ones too. It's just blue with orange.
Mhm.
Back to the Lions jersey, I just saw that you're kind of on the same point that they look similar to the Sims and Sanders years.
With the modernized
Hey.
logo.
It's coat match ever lose. Hey, you guys, are you nervous? No.
Of who?
It's like I've been here before and we beat you before.
But we're gonna stop Fields this time.
We don't have to.
Don't even have to.
All we
Just-
gotta do
Win the turnover battle.
win the turnover battle,
Run the ball.
run the ball, and guess what? You don't have to stop him. You just got to stop him from scoring,
Yeah.
which is what we did last time. He ran all over us, but he didn't get in the end zone.
No, he had 2 touchdowns and another one passing.
Yeah,
I think.
but that was you don't. How many times did he run for more than 20 yards? Like 4 times, is what I'm saying.
Just the one, I think. I might have had one other one. He had that long touchdown run.
Yeah, it was like a 60 or 70 yarder.
60.
But yeah, I mean, get him in the backfield and lay a hit. I mean, get him out in the open and lay a hit on him.
Yeah.
The more you hit the quarterback, the more they're going to get hurt. Just lay them out.
2 rushing, 2 passing. But he also threw a pick and lost a fumble. And Goff did not throw a pick, but lost a fumble. Turnover battle.
And James Burgess says Fields is being ruined in a little of late. Anyways, he's taken some shots since we last saw him, and he's still questionable for this week.
Oh, he doesn't have the problem either. He didn't play the problem last time. So he has Houston and Pascal and Hutch.
I feel sorry for Justin Fields.
What did I say would happen? I said I'm going to call him this, and it's not because he's a bust. It's because of that O-line. It's busting Fields.
It's awful. And he doesn't have good receivers. He's just one read and go.
Yep.
On some fan bases, I've heard that they're stating that Fields is their franchise guy.
He could be if they set up some more plays for him and get him a better O-line and just any weapons.
And if he lives.
Like, I think he could be like he could be a bigger, better, faster Lamar Jackson.
Plus but, one, James.
Fields also has a hose.
Yeah.
A hose?
Cannon.
Oh.
I mean, not Mike Vick. Like, Mike Vick, left-handed like this, and the ball went 50 yards. If he actually threw it, it went 75.
Yep.
I still remember the advertisement for that Nerf ball that looked like the missile that had the fins on the back, and Vic was on his knees at the 20-yard line and threw it out of the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That dude had a hose.
Mike Vick was awesome.
A hose.
I'd call it a cannon. I mean, hose just sounds a little bit,
Yeah. All guys got a hose. Just some of them are more like a water fountain, and the other ones.
Like I've seen him play, and I've seen Cutler play, and Stafford, and Brett Favre. That's 4 of the top probably 10.
If Lions win, I will have Javid Best on 97.1. You know what? Great. I'll hold you to it. Even though you've never responded to my phone calls when I said I was a podcaster when I talked to you the other day on 97.1 The Ticket.
Valenti wants the Lions to be good.
No,
the real Valenti the real Valenti does.
He does.
He actually says,
job.
Can they make the playoffs? Yes. Will they? Remains to be seen.
He was all on the Lions bandwagon like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's trying to be Howard Stern, and he sucks at it. He's going to flip-flop.
I like Valenti.
Be all emotional. He's a douchebag.
No, he's not. If you go back and actually listen to the podcast, he's not a douchebag. He's sick of them losing.
He's tired of having to watch this shitty team as a job.
No, I mean, I've listened to his show.
He can't talk about the goddamn Tigers. He can't talk about the Pistons. He can barely talk about the Red Wings.
Aaron Glenn, I'm not changing anything about my play calling, which may lead to you changing the team you work for.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to fire him.
You could change your fake account name again.
How funny is it from, in the preseason, and like after Hard Knocks, like, oh, Aaron Glenn's going to leave. Now people are like, Ben Johnson's going to leave. Neither one is.
Mhm.
Ben Johnson might leave in a couple years. It's his first year as an OC.
Unless
Yeah, he
teams
just had a high
value
school.
him as a
I
head
mean, come
coach.
on. Yeah, if someone named an offensive coordinator his first year that's under 40 as a head coach, they deserve to lose everything, and that coach can take his money and run.
All we got to say is Nathaniel Hackett.
Yes.
Yep.
Someone desperate will want him, like the Broncos or
Wait.
Carolina.
All these guys that want these offensive coaches, which ones have done better lately? There's only been one OC, or the one was an offensive coordinator's assistant who's doing well, and that's the one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was the OC for San Francisco.
No,
Rod Marinelli, I still
That's
want a
Shanahan.
DC job. Go and get into politics, and you'll work in DC as much as you want.
The fence coach.
You're only getting, you said Minnesota. You're only going so far with Kirk Cousins. And you have maybe probably the best receiver in the NFL.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
You have and the thing is about running backs, like you can't rank them because they're all the same. The top 5 to 7 running backs are all the same. They're all sweet when they're healthy. When Dalvin Cook is healthy,
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb, Henry, Jonathan Taylor last year, Saquon,
Cam Akers when healthy.
And then, but they
another guy I wanted us to draft.
Swift when healthy too.
But he can't
have,
stay healthy.
Yeah, they have a short show.
None of them can.
That is why
Derrick Henry was the only one that didn't get hurt. I called it at the beginning of last year. I said he's getting hurt.
That is why the best thing that happened to the running back market after Zeke got paid was what Le'Veon Bell did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then this year, Taylor was the last one, only because he had the best stats for 1 year because he didn't get hurt. And then look at him. Got hurt, missed some games, out for the year.
Yep.
It's not that hard to predict. People are like, how do you know this shit? I'm like, because I pay attention. It's not.
Rico, you know what? You can keep talking. Wait, you can keep talking that crap, but guess what? Pike's not on this show. This is my show.
These are pussies, buddy. These are wides. Pussy.
I like the real Rico.
Yeah, the real Rico's great.
I like Rieger for what he does at post-game press conferences.
You know what? And I'll tell you who's the biggest homer out of all of them, and it's Woj.
No,
he's a drunk.
But he's a homer.
He's
Carson Anderson was the only one I ever liked. Carson Anderson had the best show on there.
Hey, alls I know.
Antonio.
Hey, look, Dak Cousins almost lost the game last night. And Kirk Prescott is having one hell of a record this year with his team.
I saw a feed come across that said Dak Prescott's an elite quarterback.
One of the topics on my show that I did before this was Dak. Like, is Dak a liability? And I'm like, no, but yes, at that cap number.
At that cap number and what he's making, he shouldn't be allowed to throw that many picks in multiple games in a row.
He threw 3 picks in the fourth quarter yesterday.
In the first half.
Oh, in the first half.
Yep. And how many did he get? How many games did he miss?
He threw 2. He threw 2 the week before that. He threw 2 the week before that. He threw 2 the week before that, and 3 the week before that.
He's now that Carr's got benched, he's going to pass him for the league lead. And he's not. Dak is. I'll say this till the day that I die. Tell me one thing Dak is really good at.
You can't.
Getting hurt.
He's good in the locker room with the media. Oh, yeah? Cool, guy. What are you doing on the field?
You know what he's good at?
Breaking his leg.
The same thing Tony Romo and Aaron Rodgers are good at. Pleasing the refs.
Romo was sweet.
Yes.
Pleasing Romo with Dak's team. Super Bowl. Tony Romo retired. Rodgers is going to retire and beat it. Tony Romo retired with the highest passer rating of all time.
I want to clear this up because everybody's saying
That's
Derek Carr got benched because of the number of picks he threw. No, he got benched because his ribs are broken.
I didn't know that. I thought Burgess
I
was
didn't know
right.
that either.
No.
Guess what? Right now, give me an extra first-round pick. You can have Jared Goff. Give me Derek Carr.
No.
No way.
You know who's got who's got the second most fourth quarter comebacks as an active quarterback?
I know who does.
Carr.
Guess who doesn't do that this year? Guess who's blown more double-digit saves? Jared Goff. Double-digit leads. Who's blown more? Jared Goff, Derek Carr, Dak Prescott.
Carr.
MVP votes.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I still love Derek Carr.
You
Better
know,
than Goff.
who has more blown double-digit leads than Derek Carr this year?
Well,
Dak?
nobody.
Dak.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's about right.
I don't put him in that category. He's not even a quarterback.
He's a running
He's
back.
like, they don't have weapons. Like, he wouldn't throw to him if they did.
He has weapons.
Adam Schefter broke the Carr was benched for his interceptions, but he actually got benched because he was hurt. Ian Rappaport put out the right thing.
He had that MVP season and got hurt in like week 15, and then Connor Cook had to start that game.
Oof.
Carr got big money though, but I think it's less than Goff. But he's also older. Same type of dude. Like at their best, it's good with great moments, not elite. I still like Derek Carr better than Goff.
I wouldn't.
Nope.
I mean, it's not by much.
It's not at all this year.
We could have done it years ago and traded Stafford. I mean, can't go back. Doesn't matter. I'm not mad at Jared Goff. He's done everything I've asked of him.
Reduced his fumbles, reduced his interceptions, increased his touchdowns. Win, win, win.
And you can't even blame the completion percentage because all the drops.
Yep.
He started out behind 35 8 balls of 35 drops.
Speaking of Jared Goff, he says, I'm relaxing and drinking a Blue Moon and rubbing my lady's thighs ready for Sunday.
Fire. Oh. I love Blue Moon. You better have an orange in there.
And that was a great swimsuit issue, Jared.
I didn't know, like, everyone's seen the Halloween costume where he's Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted. Have you seen the Andre Agassi one?
No.
Oh, he's got a wig and the whole sweatband, the shirt. I like Jared Goff.
I still like what he did to that Division II school or Division III school or whatever it was.
Showed up in the disguise.
Showed up in a disguise with a neck tat and all sorts of stuff.
You just started throwing bombs and people were like, who is this guy? Oh, okay.
He looks
cool, and
though.
by the way, did you see how far he threw that ball when he overthrew their fastest guy?
That was awesome.
He throws that ball 60 yards in the air and overthrew the guy by 5 yards, but he don't have a deep ball.
He's got an above average arm.
He does. Matter of fact, when they were clocking speeds, that pass that went to DJ Shark, the 48-yarder against Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was one of the better passes.
You know, it's funny because on my show,
it traveled 59 miles per hour. Guess what Matthew Stafford's fastest pass was this year with his hurt elbow?
65?
No.
52.
Yep.
It was Dak and someone, but I was arguing about Dak and Goff and someone else, and I was like, you know what? Like, Dak can't beat good teams. It was during the is Dak a liability thing, and I'm like, yeah, he is that cap number. I might have been talking about Carr, but about Goff, I said, I'm like, I never saw Dak outduel Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-mm.
And you know what the main reason was? Like, all their numbers until you get to that last category were pretty much the same. But Mahomes threw 3 picks and Goff threw 1, maybe none. No more
Oh.
than one.
Look at this. The fake Ian Rappaport now. Breaking news. Goff will be traded for 2 second-round picks next year. Fake news.
Jesus Christ, people, get a life.
But would you be mad?
Yes.
Yes, I'd be livid. We're starting to rebuild again.
For 2 second-rounders?
Yeah, to do what?
Yeah.
Rebuild. We're not playing to win.
I mean, the
if we
cap
trade our
hit.
starting quarterback, but
And
fuck the cap
it only
hit.
saves $10 million.
How are
So
we going to win without Jared Goff as the quarterback next year? How are we going to be anywhere successful? Who are we going to pick up off the street that's going to lead this team?
Well, listen, my
team
only
is
thing
gonna be-
is, if we were good at running back, I would be okay with letting go. Like, I don't want to let him go because I want to see what we can do next year with JMO and whoever else, and I guess 2 different running backs. But if we had at least a good running back in place and another young one that was, looking for an increased role, because honestly, if this O-line is this good, and it has been for 2 years without our starters, the quarterback doesn't matter that much. The running backs don't really matter at all. Neither do the wide receivers or the tight ends. So you got that much time to throw.
James
And
Burgess
holes
said
open?
the right one. We could get 2 first and change from Indy.
No, Goff's not old enough.
What?
They're
He'll be
getting
28.
Derek Carr.
He'll be 28 next year.
They're getting Derek Carr or Garoppolo.
They're getting Tom Brady.
All of a sudden, that Baker Mayfield reclamation project doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Yes. I hate Baker Mayfield. I'll never like him. I don't care how good he's doing.
I
In the
don't
exact same
like him at all either.
in the exact same type of system, because Sean McVay and Kevin Stefanski are both from the Shanahan coaching tree. So all that changes is the verbiage. The plays on paper, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, it's run the ball. Get it to your
Run-
tight ends. I mean, Baker's Baker, but you might be singing a different tune if we would have got Baker or Jalen Hurts or both and Lincoln Riley. And I said 3 years ago, probably before you knew me, I'm like, I want Jalen Hurts. I know who's an MVP candidate. But the Eagles roster is the best in the NFL by far.
By a landslide.
I'm rooting for them. And when they lost in the first round last year, I'm like, Hurts will be better for this. Then they got A.J. Brown. And they started giving Miles Sanders the ball. And I'm like, oh, look at that.
There we go.
Brian Roy asked, does the panel feel we need another guard on the offensive line? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know
At least for depth.
And I don't even care if it's a vet.
Maybe
I
two.
don't anymore. I don't care anymore. Evan Brown has done the job well, but he's actually a backup center first. So
Isn't he about his contract up? Or
Who?
is it another year? Evan Brown.
next year.
He's not locked in. Yeah, next year.
I mean, he's not making a bunch of money. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through the season, people were like, we could get a second-round pick for Evan Brown.
Okay. Now I'll finish my thought. So, yes, we need 1, possibly 2. I would take at least 1 in the draft. And if I did sign a vet, it would be a backup vet for cheap.
I mean, we've already paid Vaitai all this money. I mean, if he comes back healthy next year, it's cheaper to keep her.
Yep.
Anyone to replace
He's not a guard at all. He's a pretty good guard. And Sewell, at this point, Sewell will have played 2 years, and he got Ragnow.
Yep.
And Jackson, I knew was a steal right when we drafted him. So I'm like, oh, I like Ohio State guards, just not the tackles. Looking at you, Taylor Decker.
Ken Ballrick says, hey, guys. Evan Brown might get starter money.
Agreed.
James Burgess says, but for now, if there isn't a certain better option, Goff is good enough. Just like Sims, not Troy Fakeman, and guys like that. He can hit tight windows, read defenses properly, and hit 40-plus pass scrimmage.
Those
are all facts.
Quarterback is.
I'm married to Jared Goff.
That's what a quarterback is.
Until we can cut him for nothing, which we could have originally, he played too well. I think because it's not Dan Campbell restructuring a contract. It's Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
So he said fuck being able to cut him for nothing after year 2. I'm gonna put my faith in him.
Fakey and Rappaport said, "Thank God Jeremy isn't GM." It's
So
funny.
you can't handle it.
Wait. It's funny that he says that because I have heard from many fans, and Dom has witnessed it when it's been said. Why haven't you applied for a job like that?
I sang your praises the other night. On the NFL carousel with Sheer. So I was like running down the shows I was on. He was like, "Oh, I know about Jeremy." I'm like, "You don't know shit about Jeremy."
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, like, we watched a round and a half of the draft, like 40-some picks. He got like 36 right. And more than that on position groups. I'm like, I know a lot about Lions football, but I'm like, he's not a guru. He's, I don't know. What do you call it?
I'm Rain Man. Rain Man.
Soothsayer. Prognosticator. I said that before. And even after like 10 picks, I'm like, oh, okay, he's just on a hot streak. Got to like 15, 20. I'm like, wow, this is impressive. Got to the end of the first round. I'm like, he's cheating.
They both will be.
Andrew's sending him the picks, but he wasn't. I'm like, this is not.
Who loses first in the playoffs, San Francisco or Philly?
Philly.
Yeah.
Philly's going to get.
Hey, look, and then somebody who talks about DC 809 and 1. You need to lay off the beer because you can't spell drink.
Beer by the tub.
Beer by the
What?
tub. What? Yeah, whatever.
Philly to us.
God, I'd love that.
After we beat someone else because it reseeds. After we beat Frisco because we beat them, then we beat Philly because Frisco's going to end up with that 2 seed.
Yeah, because what'll happen is Green Bay wins over Mini this week. San Francisco wins their game. So then that makes them tied and they haven't played each other. So then it goes by conference record, blah, 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 blah. Frisco will move to 2 on the strength of schedule part.
Yep. Then we beat them. Then we beat Philly the next week. And Philly wins the Super Bowl. And I'm like, we lost to the champs. And we beat the number 1 defense in the NFL.
And it's not even close how good the Niners defense is right now.
Yeah.
It's like our run game in 2014, but the whole defense.
Do you know what I've seen out of the Niners defense?
Is not that good, though.
No, I thought I was just going to go here. The only thing their pass defense does good is get to the quarterback.
The run defense is good. The pass rush is good. If you can actually throw the ball.
If you got time to throw the ball, you can beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, do you want to know what I saw? Who's the only team that got close to Michigan? A passing team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners defense is just like Michigan's defense. They shut people down after the second quarter and don't let anybody score.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one. Should I do the swim move or jump step Sunday to crack Fields' ass up? Get low, get under those guys, and just hit that mofo.
Or
Draw
3 penalties and let Aquara get 3 sacks. The only reason his sack streak broke, he didn't do much else the rest of the game because they weren't passing. But I was like, oh, there goes his sack streak.
Mm-hmm.
That was early in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking ran it down our throats.
Out
our butts.
Everybody sat there and somebody asked, what's the most important person on our defense right now? I said, if you say anything other than defensive interior lineman, you're wrong. I said, because Hutchinson's great. Houston's great. Rodrigo's great. Anzalone's been playing good. But if Comiskey, Aleem, and Bugs do not have a good game up the middle,
and they were
this
bad.
defense is trash. And they were really bad last week.
The linebackers were all in the wrong gaps.
What?
But it happened so fast.
Right.
Because the DTs.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what happens when you're in a 4-2. I mean, Linebackers going to get there. And
Guess how many
multiple
times they
guys to
stacked the
cover.
box that whole game?
None.
None. And
That's
they're
why I
getting-
would have got dragged out of that game in the first quarter.
Yep.
So I would have went from wherever my seats were down to by our bench and been motherfuckering Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn like stack the fucking box. That's why I think I could do a better job as DC. Not DC. OC, yes.
Oh, there he is. The I love the smell of farts. I'm going to the game Sunday just to sniff seats in the stadium. That's awesome.
Wait till you take that.
Oh my God. I don't know what your first name is, but I bet you I can make up a song about that. I can put it to the tune of Bananas and Pajamas.
I don't even know the Bananas and Pajamas song, and I don't want to.
You don't want to. It was a kid's show in the mid 2000s. Didn't last
Yeah, I
long.
wouldn't know that.
Let's see. Well, keys to the game. We already said that.
Run down the scenario to make the playoffs.
The scenarios to make the playoffs. Basically, the Lions have to win out. If Minnesota loses to Green Bay, it gives Dallas a reason to play harder. This is according to some other reporter. I don't believe that because the seeding, as you pointed out when you looked it up, is based off of division winners, and then it's 5, 6, 7 for the wild card. But only the 1 seed gets the bye. Then that round reseeds with the worst person playing the first one. And
Billy,
so on and so forth.
Let's get it after we beat Frisco.
I hope it's Minnie.
Beat Philly too, and then lose to someone we shouldn't have.
No, I mean, you have to realize that every one of these playoff games is going to be on the road.
Lions are at that odd place where they could beat anyone. They also could lose damn near anyone, but not the Bears.
But we could get like Frisco. Yeah, it's on the road, but it won't be cold.
Right. Okay, wait. Let me go through it though. Seattle, Washington has to lose. Giants have the 6th seed, so that doesn't matter. We're only worried about getting to that 7th seed and getting in, correct?
Right.
Yep.
So we just need Seahawks and Commanders to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't care about the rest of it because it doesn't matter if Green Bay wins or Minnie wins. If we win out and those teams lose, we get in.
Well, Minnie wins and they get the 2 seed, and then Green Bay's season doesn't matter, so we beat them, and then we get Minnie in the first round, and then Philly.
And then we finally get to do what I said we were going to do in week 3. We get to go to their house and smack them right straight in the mouth.
God, I'd love another 40-point win or 40-point game at Lambeau and just fuck them up.
Hey, guess what we get to do next week?
What?
The actual Packers.
There's no way in hell we beat.
They have something
No
to
way
play
in
for.
hell we beat Green Bay there if it matters.
If Minnesota beats them, they have nothing to play for.
That's what I'm saying. If they have something to play for.
No, I'm saying there's no way we beat them if it matters.
Yes.
Right. I agree.
Unless we're up 20 with 2 minutes left.
But wait, they had just won the week before they played us last time. Because then we play them like in week 9.
Yep.
But
just won and
when I saw the schedule, I was like, oh, the Lions are going to matter because we got our last game on the road at Green Bay. Even if it doesn't matter, Aaron Rodgers might still beat us. Better be up 20 with 2 minutes left.
I hope it's just like last year. Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to play. He's going to be a starter. He's going to play the whole game because we're going to make the playoffs.
Nope, he's out by a half.
And by the halfway through the second quarter, he's been hit so many times and sacked so many times. They're like, they're going to kill this son bitch again.
That's one way to make sure Aaron Rodgers doesn't.
I don't even care if we win. Just kill Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't wish death or dismemberment on anybody, but maybe. Well, yeah, no, I can't.
I mean, I said 2 years ago, I'm like, I want Aaron Rodgers to leave Green Bay, go somewhere, and get more rings than Brady.
Hey, he could go to Frisco or
sweeping Chicago and Green Bay is all that matters to me. But playoffs. Someone said playoffs would be a most excellent dessert.
I mean,
for the
dessert. Cesar,
yeah.
you meant dessert. Yeah, just get there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish bruises that really hurt on Ron. Is that okay, Jeremy? Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Gutter's kneecaps while we're at it.
I hope he gets.
Don't worry,
stoned
Dan
before the
Campbell
game again.
been eating that as my logo for 2 years now. There it is. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Hope he takes a-
Kneecap
hope he
soup.
takes that grade A narcotic that he was taking and saying how great it opened up his experience before the worst season of his NFL career. I hope he takes another dose of that saga, whatever the fuck it is.
By the way,
Some
James, you're at
bullshit.
plus 3 right now. I've been keeping track.
That's someone we gotta get on the show. James is awesome.
Yeah, he should come on a show. I don't know why he hasn't sent me an email. It's smokinjeremyb@gmail.com, all lowercase. There's nothing hard about it.
I was gonna say it's not that hard.
He goes, thanks. I hit a field goal more than MSU kickers could do. I hope Roger slips on a banana peel and never comes back from Brian Roy. I think he
put that in quotes.
He might smoke a banana peel and not come back because he's that stupid.
Or he's going to be that old person that accidentally steps on his poop and get hurt.
Oh, stop. Yuck.
Or
That's
even a
disgusting.
tripod.
Yeah, remember, you're
Probably
talking to
tripod.
older guys here than
No,
Aaron
I'm talking
Rodgers.
about Aaron Rodgers in general, not you guys.
Ryan Poles. I'm
Jeremy, how
building
much
a
cap
monster
money
team.
do we got? What do we have in the offseason?
Right now, it's in between 38.5 and 40 before the cap goes up.
So it's enough for.
Remember,
it's
with
more
two
than we've
rounds,
had.
more than
But
we had.
Got to re-sign some of our guys. So
Yep.
basically, once again, it's a shot at one big ticket guy or a couple like lower tier ticket or a couple. I don't know.
Hey, did you see his name? It's Ryan. I take stripper poles up the buttocks. I'm building a monster team.
You get a Hackett if you want a monster team.
It's more like you're destroying a monster team because all I've seen you do is get rid of your best defensive players. Next thing you know, you'll be trading Brisker next year.
Mm-hmm.
I had him in my notes and I looked. That's why I think we win this game because I know a fair amount about every team. And I looked at the Bears' top 4 corners and I did not recognize their names.
I
Brisker
reckon
is the only one I saw. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he would have been nice, but we got Kirby.
Probably why Jamie was going to go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Shark again.
And
unless JMO's wide open.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. He had a good game.
He's better than Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah.
You still call him Sudfeld? I tell you what his name is. It's Suckfelt.
He's the backup and Goff doesn't get hurt. Every team in the NFL other than like 2 is fucked if their quarterback gets hurt.
Zaka says, I hope we put up 50 on the Bears. I hope we put up one more point than they do. That's all we need.
About to say, I'll take 31-30 again. It's going to be like that. I mean, it's not going to be a low-scoring game.
And Ken Ballrig, no shit, same here. I said right away when we signed Josh Dobbs, can we put Suckfelt on the practice squad?
I mean, Sudfeld's really an assistant coach. Him and Goff work very, very well together.
I could give
about
2
him on the
shits
field,
less.
but
Him on the field. Somebody says, oh, he's got a 63% completion percentage. Yeah, and 3 touchdowns to 7 picks. He's David Blau with a more accurate arm.
Yeah.
Would you bring up Steven Montez as a backup rather than Sudfeld?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's young. He hasn't really had a chance to prove himself. He's played in a couple of games.
He knows the system better.
Yeah, because he was on the practice squad last year.
Suffice it to say, if, like I said, about 29.5 NFL teams, if their starting quarterback gets hurt, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, the best
Because it's the 2 best running teams and half of the third one.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that came out today. David Blau is starting for Arizona.
What happened to McCoy? Did he get hurt?
McCoy is he's a top 10 backup in the NFL.
Yeah, I liked him when he was
Whatever
with
that
Baltimore.
means.
But he's out for concussion purpose protocol.
Yep. But that thing about sucked up is
Backups can't take those hits. They come in there and get killed, and whoever's defense is facing them, they're like, "Oh, let's get at this guy. He hasn't played for shit.
As he should.
Hit him hard. There you go. Concussion."
Every quarterback.
And James does say the perfect thing here. Lions really do need a better backup. I mean, if Goff misses 3 games, we need a guy who has a chance to win a couple.
One.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guess what? That would be anybody in the 5th through UDFA in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Would be better than what we got right now. And still the guy that I said that's a UDF, the guy that's a UDFA right now that I said the Lions could sign, he's still there. Eric Barriere from Eastern Washington University.
Still there.
The kid's 6'3", he's 218. He knows how to run with the ball. He has a deep ball. He threw for 5,000 yards, rushed for 1,800 more.
Yeah, none of the 32 teams like him though. I don't know why. But if they did, he'd be on a team, particularly when you're signing someone like Dobbs, who's 30.
James versus Dallas, Arizona. Oh, Arizona doesn't have a backup who won a game now because they're all hurt. But anyways, Dallas, Arizona, Niners, Jets, Baltimore, all with backups who won some game. You're forgetting the biggest one, Washington.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, don't
they never should have won and got Wentz at this point. Like Heineke's
Bailey Zappa won a couple. Wentz. Yeah, we know one of them.
What about Raiders?
That's because we didn't draft him. No, Carr started every game this year.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Stidham came in when he got hurt.
Broncos.
Yeah.
But he didn't start.
I called that shit with Denver. I said they're finishing in last.
And they don't even have a first round pick.
Love that for them. Yeah, it belongs to Seattle. And Geno Smith's way. I don't know what's going on with Russ. Like, I didn't have a reason why, but I was like, Denver's finishing in last.
Yeah, because the Texans are going to screw up and win one more, and because of the tie, go behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, do you know what that means? It'll be Seattle with the first pick overall, then Chicago, and Texans will have the 3rd pick.
Sweet. There go those quarterbacks.
Seattle goes Will Anderson.
Eugene Cyril Smith is a free agent. They'll take a quarterback.
They're going to re-sign Geno and still take a quarterback. Geno's like 5 minutes younger than me, and he's fading.
33, and he's fading faster than his career did in New York.
He's got 1 game left. He's 2-0 on the revenge tour this year.
Yep.
He's not winning the game against the Jets.
You're right. He won't. Kenneth Walker will. Their run defense isn't all that.
If Walker is healthy.
He's still questionable. No, he's questionable.
He's fine. He'll be fine.
He's on the injury report.
Kenneth Walker is fine.
Texans going to pull a Jets move? LOL, LOL. That would be classic. Yeah.
Pierce
K9 because he got caged because he's on the IR.
No, Pierce is out for the year. Pierce is out for the year. K9's like 130 yards behind him. He's got like 803 or something. I mean, it means even less in 17-game seasons. But like, how good would K9 look in a Lions uniform? He got reached for. I was like, he went in the 2nd round. I was like, 3rd round, if he's there, take him. He was not. I'm like, okay.
We said that. And Seattle picked him with the 8th pick in the 2nd round. I was like, wow.
But that was before Carson was dead.
Hey, you know what?
Pete Carroll likes to run the ball. That's why.
Texans are so bad at tanking, they are pulling the New York Jets move when they drafted Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Well, how about that? There's a backup
Got
that will be
that
available for us.
I can't wait to watch the Raiders draft Keely Ringo. Or the 5th best O lineman, Alex Leatherwood.
Walker needs to be okay. Someone's fantasy team is in the championship game and wants Walker over Brian Robinson.
What happened to him? He's been fading.
Brian Roy says, I want Sanchez so we can get a butt fumble.
That's Sanchez.
That being said, let's talk about my sponsors because it's that time of night. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations serve you. There's the one on Genesee Street in Saginaw, the one on Broadway in Bay City, and the one where I work on Old Coquitlam Road in Coquitlam, which also has TNT Auto Sales with quality used cars at a great price. Great prices on new tires as well as good used tires at a great price too. Stop in and check us out. And Mad Lab Custom Creation, that's Dan Leonard's love child that he created for getting fans stuff to build their personal collection up for signed memorabilia. I personally have a Justin Jefferson, an Amon-Ra St. Brown, a Barry Sanders, a James Robinson, a Darius Leonard before he changed his name, and a Charles Harris. Oh, and a Cam Akers, iced out. And that one's badass. Have you ever seen the iced out helmets that they did as an alternate?
No, where Charles Harris on IR?
Charles Harris got sent to the IR. He's been hurt. He hasn't been able to play.
I know.
Romeo Clara got better. By him doing that, we didn't have to cut anybody.
Hutchinson got better. And then Romeo came back and like, oh, we're just going to double Hutchinson. Okay.
Keep doing it.
Is Paschal active?
I've not been impressed with him the last couple of weeks. He had a great first 1 or 2 games. Another one of those first-round picks that was hurt. Although he wasn't hurt when we drafted him. He got hurt.
No,
he was coming back from an injury.
Yeah, he was coming back from that sports hernia. And he came back too soon. They didn't really do anything with the rookie mini camps with him. Yeah. And it was right after that when everybody reported he came in and was like a week and boom.
Kaminsky and Bugs have been better. But, I mean, Paschal was good, and I think he's going to be good. Just not right now. Look, we have a small amount of depth at some places. No, we have no depth anywhere. Safety.
My dad says I used to be conceited, but I found out it was a fault, and now I don't have any.
I don't get it.
God damn, those are my worst neighbors.
Man. So this has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin' Jeremy B. Keegan Eckerd, what's your final thoughts tonight?
I gotta say, let's just hope for Lions win and hope they make the playoffs. If so, it's great to be a Lions fan.
It's great either way. To me, I would love it if we make the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, proof is in the pudding. Also, they can get there. It's will they for me.
Don't look ahead to the playoffs. Look at the game that's right in front of you.
Yes, because that's what happened last week. Mm-hmm. They got complacent. They didn't try very hard. They bragged about being down there when it was warm a couple days before the game. They were talking about this and talking about that. They were talking about who's the worst secret Santa on the team. Yeah, that's real important when you got a game that meant so much for your season.
Mm-hmm.
DC, what's your final thoughts?
Buckle down and win this goddamn game. That's it.
Dom?
Same. I mean, definitely after last week, they're not looking past Chicago. Like we should win. I'm right back to where I was in even less optimistic ways because like the Jets game, even the Jags game. Well, the Jets game, I'm like we should win, but I'm like I'm not going to be like we're going to win. Last week should have been that even more so, and then look what happened.
Well,
Just win.
what the Lions got guilty of, they stopped paying attention to scenarios and just looked at their record.
Yep.
They were what 5-8 coming into that game, or 5-9, 5-9.
Yep.
And
anyone can win the goddamn South in either conference.
yeah, I mean the only one that's going to struggle probably is the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
And the Aints. So I have it coming down to the Panthers and Buccaneers. Guess what? They play this week.
Yep.
Yeah, the Bucs still got it.
You say the Bucs still got it, but I've been watching the Bucs. They're not that good.
Yeah, it's still Brady in the end of the year. I'm not betting against them.
I won't bet against them, but I'm not going to bet on them either. It's kind of like betting on or against the Lions.
Yeah.
Don't put money on the Lions or against the Lions unless you're betting the spread. 'Cause they're the best team in the NFL for 5 years running.
Hey, James Burgess, get us a 7th pick, and it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 6th. We don't have a 7th round pick.
Ruggles.
Yeah, I think he's the kicker out of Maryland. I think it is. He was really good. Quinn Cook hops in. Hey, JB. What's up, buddy?
I think Moody's going to go earlier than the 7th.
I really don't. There's so much talent everywhere else that, like, the special teams are 7th round picks.
Yeah. Except for those guys that are like return men.
Just 3 rounds, 2 rounds, 3 picks. Defense, or defense, and then they move up after the first one and get someone like
a right
I'm telling
guard.
You something crazy is happening.
Or tight end.
Bijan Robinson.
He says chilling with the wife and talking to her about Hutch.
Poor girl.
She's a Lions fan too.
Sweet.
He blows Hutchinson more than he hates Goff. He said it. Go back. Pull it back up.
Defense, +1 right there. He agrees. Yep. I think it should be defense. Did you look up that guy I told you about Wednesday night, that Bryce Ford Wheaton, Dom?
Yeah. No, I think we were talking after the show, and I saw him in a mock like way late, like 5th round, and I'm like, oh, there he is.
Yep. Oh, if he's there, snag him.
If Cephas isn't coming back, then give me some tall guy. I don't care if he's fast. As long as he can he doesn't even have to have good hands. Just catch the contested pass.
Starsky gets no love anymore. It's all about Hutch.
That's a layup.
There will be some trades from Holmes, JB. Maybe. I'm not going to count on whether it happens or not. I don't care one way or the other. It might be the opposite of what we've been seeing lately. We may finally see him trade back instead of trading up in each draft because it's cost us future draft capital every time he's done it.
I think you're going to trade out of the Rams pick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Everyone we want is going to be gone.
Yep.
Watch us trade down and then back up from there, or back up from ours. Like we end up with like the 10th and the 12th or something.
I just would be happy if we end up with anyone. No. What is it? What has a top other than Hutchinson? How great has our top 10 picks been in the last 10 years?
Only 2.
I have to think who they are.
Not at all.
Hutch, Sue.
Who's the 2 you say that were good in the top 10?
Oh, Sewell.
No. Yeah. But I'm talking about in the past 10 years before this regime. Who in the top 10 has been good?
Sue, Farley for a hot second. Sue would be the only one I could think of.
Sue, before the first run was over, I said, this dude is going to be so good that we can't afford him, or he's going to be so bad we won't re-sign him.
That was exactly 10 years. I'm glad you caught that because that was the only good pick we had over a 10-year period out of the 4 we had in the top 10.
It was also the 3rd one in the top 3,
Actually,
and it was 55% of our cap.
Actually, I think
Yep.
Okuda's shaping up. I think
Yeah,
they can
but
put Okuda in there.
he
I think Okuda's shaping up.
maybe. I need to see it for more than just a half a season.
Yeah.
Needs to be consistent.
I mean, it's pretty much he only missed one game this year, and he's one of the better corners in the league.
Do we get a running back to replace Swift in the draft? I think he played last night. Did anybody watch that running back from Oklahoma catching those passes and running like he did?
I don't watch college football unless it's on. But yes, I think we do. I hope so.
JB, thoughts on bringing back Comiskey and Bugs?
Sure.
And what a contra could be like. I'm going to be going over all of that here shortly. We got 2 weeks before I can worry about who we're re-signing and who we're not. I really want to see what happens these next 2 weeks. Yep. Because if Comiskey, Bugs, and Aleem plays as bad as they did this last game, I don't want anybody back but Aleem then.
Right. Well, the other two are they're auditioning for their jobs.
Right.
And that's what it's been. And we've got some good production out of guys on 1 year prove it deals the last couple of years. We didn't win a bunch of games last year, but we found some good players.
And Comiskey's been solid game after game, except for the Carolina game.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can get him back.
No one on the D-line nor any of the linebackers that played that entire game were any good.
I mean, McNeil had at least one hellacious play, but that was about it.
Not even about it. All of it.
That 4-2 against.
According to what MCDC said, James, he says, actual real question, do we hide Jameson another week so GBP has no real tape or break him out for real versus Chicago? According to what Dan Campbell said yesterday in the presser, he's going to play significantly more snaps this week. So they're breaking the seal.
So, let him burn someone the third play of the game.
And then set him again.
Yeah.
Or decoy.
That's Chark.
Yep, send him.
If the D don't hit the box in the run game, I think Glenn is toasted and gets the walking papers. Brian Roy says Comiskey, yes, Bugs, maybe. And that's where I'm at. Yep. Bugs has been way more inconsistent than what Comiskey has. Comiskey's had 2 bad games, and he missed 3.
And that Benito Jones guy, they're the D lineman version of linebackers that we have. They're just guys that are starting because we have so little talent and depth. I like Bugs, but is he that good? Or is he just good for us because our DTs are bad?
The other question is if
Kaminsky's good.
Still be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, Comiskey is good, and he can play at D end or DT because he's in that tweener size in the mold.
Yep.
And I'm not comparing him to, don't get this wrong, people, because I don't want to have people blow me up because I said it. He is in the mold of an Aaron Donald type of player. I'm not saying he's as good.
I would give Kaminsky like a 2-year deal.
Maybe even a 3 tops.
Right. I would maybe give Bugs another 1 year prove it deal. Benito Jones, you're gone.
Houston was a steal. We know this.
Right when they drafted him, I was like, I like this guy.
Especially when hey, you know what I liked? Every time we drafted somebody the last 2 drafts, we didn't have to wait for a 15-minute commercial break to see the game tape on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, because Houston, they showed us those 3 years at Florida, and he graduated, but he still had a year of eligibility left. It's like, I'm going to go play for Dion and just wreck everyone in D2.
Yep.
And I just waited, and I almost forgot. And then he played, then he got a sack. And the next game, we got 2. The next game, we got 1. And I'm like, holy fuck.
Didn't he have, Didn't he have 3 in the first game?
No, I think it was 2 in the first one.
2 in the second.
It was like 2-1-1 or 1-2-1.
He has 5 sacks.
Yep.
Yeah, 5 in 5 games now. Because he didn't get one this past week.
Right. He had 5 in 4 games is what I'm getting at. So it was either 2-1-2 or 2-2-1.
Less than 100 snaps. Less than 60. It was artificially increased because he played some special teams.
Well, you know why smaller school guys and Quinn, because he's friends. He's actually met Troy Anderson when he was at Montana State because they lived in Montana. Troy Anderson says he wants to play for Campbell. Hell yeah, make that trade. Ship him
Fire.
Anzalone.
Come on.
Anzalone and a 3rd-round pick for Troy Anderson right now.
Anzalone and someone for Troy Anderson and Ritter.
We'll give him Suckfelt in the 3rd-round pick then.
I don't think Falcons are dumb enough to give us Ritter.
What? They were dumb enough to trade away Calvin Ridley while suspended to the team he bet against.
That too.
Oh, it's right. He's a Jag now.
Yeah.
Ooh, old Marvin Jones. Chenault, he doesn't matter, but Zay Jones, like all of a sudden, apparently T-Law's that guy because he makes Zay Jones and Evan Ingram look like a number 1 wideout and an elite tight end.
Chenault is a pamper.
Yep. Laviska Chenault got traded to the Panthers.
Right, that's right. Other smaller shitty cat also wearing teal. But guess what? And I said at the beginning of the season, I'm like, Jacksonville's going to win as many games as we do. If we were in either one of those AFC South division, either one of those South divisions, we'd be in first.
Wait, do you think we give them Swift a 3rd and anal loan for Troy and Ritter?
I would do it.
I would give them Swift, Brockers, Vitae, and the Anzalone. A 3rd and a 1st just to get Troy in there.
I think we might have to bring Anzalone back.
Yeah, we will.
He's only like 27, 28.
I don't
He's
care.
been excellent this year.
I don't want to either, but he's been playing well. And again, indictment on lack of talent and depth.
Yes.
Just like Rodrigo.
Yay. The shiniest turd on a shit sandwich is still a turd.
Rodrigo's not that good either.
I wouldn't say that. They just had a
Throw in Suckfelt. Just give them whatever the hell they want. Just give us Troy. No, get us Troy and Ritter. We give up Suckfelt, Swift, Anzalone, and a 3rd-round pick. I'm good.
Just Madden.
Maybe a running back in there too, just with the needs that we have.
Cordarrelle Patterson.
You know what? You know what the scariest thing? Guess who was the fastest rookie linebacker rated last year in Madden? It's Troy Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm talking. Who said that about Who said anything about Malcolm?
Who what?
What did you say about Malcolm?
He's not that good.
He's very good.
He looked good early in the year when we were losing games. Now we're winning games. I don't hear his name getting called.
I've seen his name called a lot.
Yep.
He's good for a 5th rounder.
It doesn't matter where he gets picked.
You should not be starting a 5th rounder.
Why? People fuck up the draft all the time, and they find good players. You're gonna tell New England
he was actually
he
was actually slated to be a 3rd rounder, but he fell due to his size.
Yep.
He's good. He's just not. He's not a starter on a really good team.
Should have New England not started a 6th-round quarterback?
So now you're comparing Malcolm Rodriguez to Tom Brady?
No, I'm saying that there
Bailey
are
Zappi.
players that you can
Blood
find in
oath.
the 6th-round
Well,
draft.
we should have drafted Bailey Zappi. Couldn't have beat us if he was on our roster.
I mean, it's not a samurai caste system that once you get labeled something, you can never advance past that. It's just
Tom Brady is not good at anything either, except signing the blood oath.
How about Rodrigo and Tavai?
Yeah, Tavai actually turned into a pretty solid player.
What?
He fucked us up in New England.
Blood oath.
Now that he's New England, Tavai's a solid player.
Another one of the Lions bus, Tavai.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
They had to go to commercial because they couldn't find footage. And
I would love that, Quinn.
Yep.
because
see
I
what-
like Lama Francis.
Did you see what Quinn just sent
Oh,
me?
that was a
JB,
big
let me
spot,
do
that
some
was.
talking around. I may be able to hook you up with a Troy Mini helmet. Fantastic. I want one.
Fire.
I don't even care if it's a Montana State one. I'd rather have that than an Atlanta Falcons
rather.
one.
Than a fail cants.
Right.
The fail cants are. I was talking to my friend Jen the other day. She's like, I hate the Falcons. I'm like, you're only saying that because you're a Panthers fan. Like, you have to feel sorry for the fail cants. They're the Lions on a bigger stage.
Mm-hmm.
28-3. They lost another Super Bowl.
Quick. Falcons are ass. They are. Holmes has found diamonds in UDFA's season. Yeah, Jerry Jacobs.
Yep, exactly. You can find diamonds.
Hey,
anywhere.
guess what? Jerry Jacobs has almost as many interceptions as Kenny Galladay had catches the last 2 seasons.
Hey,
Yep.
Greg Reynolds, or was he a bat?
Galladay is going on a revenge tour next year for somebody.
For somebody else.
Yeah.
Because his cap finally clears enough where they can cut his ass.
I liked him, but I was like, man, we can't re-sign him.
Well,
Yeah.
when he turned down $19 million at Thanksgiving, before the Thanksgiving game, if he turns that down, he doesn't want to be here.
It was after that Jags game.
No,
He's
no,
like,
no,
this
no.
shit gonna cost you. And I'm
No,
like,
that's not what I'm talking about, though. We played the Jags after that game because that's the only game we won.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, at the Thanksgiving day, Quinn offered him $19 million. And for a 4-year contract, he said, nah.
I was mistaken that he was sweet because he led the league in touchdown catches that 1 year.
Yeah.
One ahead of Marvin Jones, who played like 4 less games. But Galladay had like 9 of those 11 in the first 8 games with Stafford.
Right. He got
Well,
one
he
from
was a
David
badass
Blau,
right
and he
now.
got
He
one.
was
He got
was
one
a
from
contested
David Blau,
catch guy.
and he did the other one he got from Jeff Driscoll.
He was a contested catch guy, but not at that cap hit. He's
Yeah,
the
he was a
worst
badass
cap hit
for me.
in the NFL right now. For
Think about
receivers.
this. So he's being paid $38 million for the last 2 years at that $19 million salary per year total. So at $38 million, that means that they paid. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this. $7.6 million per catch so far.
Even if he was an absolute G and never got hurt, I still wouldn't have re-signed him because it's a wide receiver.
Okay, another actual poll question. Gerald Everett is my fantasy tight end, and I grabbed Zylstra as a gimmick. Should I be a goofball and play Zylstra? No. Not over Gerald Everett. Chargers
I
are
put
playing
Brock
against
Wright
the
over
Rams,
Zylstra.
aren't they? Isn't this the Rams versus Charger week?
Oh, the SoFi Bowl.
Yep.
I can look.
Brad Holmes will find diamonds instead of zircons in the drafts next year, guys.
Yep. He does.
Well, I think we're going to call it a night. So my final thought is try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. For DC 8091, Keegan Eckert, and Detroit Dom, this is Smokin Jeremy B saying good night and good evening. Don't forget to spade and neuter your pets, your cats, your grandparents, your parents.
A little bit late for that there, bud.
If they've got
Awesome.
Good night, everybody.
I got